Siema, Krzysiu. O. Nie no, może zdążysz, ale nie wiem, gdzie ty wychodzisz, jak na dworze pizga, jakby, nie wiem, świat miał się skończyć. Też miałem wyjść właśnie, ale... Tak. Czyli nieunikniony event. Good luck. Uważaj na, nie wiem, latające drzewa. I powodzenia. Co ja miałem zrobić w tej grze? Może 2 dni, 3 i nie mam pojęcia. Chłopak Hardiego. Mogę spróbować przekonać Titusa.
The same small, heavy door. No lock in sight.
Dokąd te drzwi prowadzą?
I don't know.
Nie było do ciebie kim.
It is not the first closed door we found in this building. There is also your mysterious blue kitchen door.
Myślisz, że to ważne?
I don't know. The further we get, the more this building seems to be tied to the case.
Below, the hostel cafeteria creaks and groans under your added weight. A skeleton of composite support beams and cantilevers.
Stuknij w dach stopą.
A dull thump. Somewhere inside, a wind brace rattles from the imperceptible motion of the building.
The vigilantes, the cadaver, and a number of people connected to the case are in or around this building. This door is part of it. It's not unimportant.
Widzisz, główne dochodzenie i drzwi na dole zespalają się w jedno stereo dochodzenie.
I hate it when that happens.
Popchnij.
It's barred from the inside. You hear the bar rattle in the brackets.
Ciało jako narzędzie. Heroiczny. Wyważ drzwi kopnięciem 28%. Złamaliśmy nogę.
You kick it, gung-ho style. Entering the premises style. But the door fails to respect the force. All you hear is the bar rattling inside.
All right, let's trash the place.
Let's not.
Spróbujemy jeszcze raz.
Is ready to explode and punish this object.
Kopnij drzwi.
The door receives a thorough disciplining. At the cost of your foot. Your foot hurts. A lot.
Ała.
Bent metal.
Ała.
Broken glass. Your path lies strewn with the broken forms of everyday objects. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate matter.
Nie jestem tylko bezradnym człowiekiem próbującym wyładować gniew tej bezradności na przedmiotach codziennego użytku.
Look, there's a discarded milk carton on the floor. Why don't you destroy that too?
Nie, prawdę mówiąc, to żal mi tych rzeczy, które zniszczyłem. Wybacz mi, kartoni po mleku.
You're right. That's definitely not the behavior of a destroyer at all. That's just severe anger management problems and a disregard for property rights.
Ciekawe, jaką myśl by mi to dało. Spróbujemy jeszcze raz. Tylko teraz zboostujemy nasze zdolności. Łykniem, bo odwykniem. Teraz pytanie, jak się chlało? Siema, Kacpro. Aż streama przycięło. Jak tam? Jak tam?
Well, hello there, Agintis.
Well, hello there, General Kacpro. Nie wiem dlaczego jest takie opóźnienie z TTS-em. Co jak tam Kacpro? Już zdrowy po świętach? Jak się piło? O, Gintis, muszę to zmienić. Nie da się tego zmienić. Muszę zmienić nickname. Tak, to jest jedyne rozwiązanie. Zmienić siebie. Ale wróć, nawet jeżeli się napiję, to nie będę mógł tego otworzyć, bo musiałbym dać w ciało jak narzędzie w statystykach. Nadal grypa. Lipa straszna. Gdzieś ty się tak załatwił na spacerze? Dobra, chodźmy na razie na dół. Dobra, i stamtąd przejdę tutaj. Do tego zamkniętego pokoju. Okej. Kolegi z ławki. Trzeba się było z nim Kacpora nie całować, ale dobre, no. Jak chory.
You see a heavy steel door with a
Dobra, tu się nic nie zmieniło. Jakie mam w ogóle questy? Spytaj klasy, jak Kima nie będzie obok, tak? Muszę skłonić Titusa, żeby mi powiedział, gdzie jest Ruby. Siema, Titus.
It's you again. What is it?
Nie, nasz tak to nie. Szanujmy się chociaż trochę. Łaj, ale parszywa herbata. No dobra, porozmawiałem z klasy, teraz muszę pogadać z Ruby.
Why?
By jest waszą prawdziwą przywódczynią.
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it, or fuck off.
How many times must I tell you?
Yeah, fuck off!
Powiem wprost, jest następnym ogniwem łańcucha prowadzącym do zabójcy Leliego.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this.
Źle
Not on my
to
watch,
rozegrałem,
you're not.
bardzo źle.
Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
Oj,
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound
jak to się
theory.
zmieniło?
I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
Czyli muszę mu jakoś uświadomić, że to Ruby mogła
I
zrobić?
think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
From the corner of your eye, you see a little bird fly into the bush, right behind the window, behind Titus's back.
O Boże. 3%, dobra, spróbujmy.
Nothing is happening. The pieces are there, but they remain unconnected.
Nie, damy radę.
Sorry, you're not coming up with anything. Again, the pieces are there. She could have done it. Somehow. Something else. Walla walla bing bang. It's just not
Walla walla
coming
bing bang?
together.
Jeszcze bardziej zmruszę, czy mocniej?
Still nothing. But that's okay. This doesn't have to turn into some kind of meltdown. You're just a cop, taking your time to present a theory.
Jak tam Kacper ogólnie? W co teraz grasz? Co nagrywasz?
Why does Puzzle Face get to not melt down? You and I melted down like crazy. Remember? Shush. I'm just more level-headed than you. That's my thing. Let's look at this as a learning experience. What are the components you need to implicate Ruby? His wife left him. He needs to kill himself. Make her sorry she did.
Chcę po prostu usłyszeć, jakie elementy ma ta hipoteza.
Smart move. The components are access to the roof, weapon, and motive. Here is what you can do to make it easier. Come on, guys.
To ona mogła kupić mój pistolet.
For starters, you could find out what's behind that mystery door in the kitchen. If it's a secret route, she could have used that to get to the roof. Can't get through the door? You know what would help. Doing a thorough search of this room. Maybe something's hidden. Hey, did someone say something already? No? Yes? Who cares? Upstairs in Clausia's bedroom, the window the bullet came through. Analyze that. There's a spooky building west of this. Take a flashlight with you. Search the basement. There are secrets, magisterial, ancient secrets that may assist you. You could crack Clausia's last defenses. Maybe she'll tell you something helpful.
Trochę opcji jest. Czyli mówisz, Kacpro, wypalony jesteś?
It's that simple.
Czyli przydałoby się zbadać okno na górze, sprawdzić sprawę broni, dostać się do niebieskiego pokoju.
Unless we have more business, we should.
Say, hard to remember with your brain in overload, but have you smoked lately? A cigarette may help you. Yes, huff and puff and blow this case wide open.
No fakt, jak jesteś chory, Kacper, to wiesz, rozumiem, że ci się nie chce. Czyli tak. Przydałoby się wejść tutaj. Tylko nie za bardzo wiem jak. Przydałoby się zbadać okno na górze jeszcze raz. Coś się stanie. Coś się wydarzy. Albo nie. To było dziwne. Popatrzmy
This
na okno.
window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one
42%.
next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo.
Co się tutaj stało?
A vague sense
Fuck.
of disappointment fills you. The glass shimmers as if taunting you with its secrets. You get the feeling this room would tell you something crucial if you only knew how to listen.
Powiedz mi jeszcze raz, Kim, czego my tutaj szukamy? Informacji o torze lotu pocisku?
I'm not exactly sure either, to be honest. My imagination has a way of failing me. It's a weakness.
Wyjdźmy na zewnątrz, zapalmy papieroska, pogadajmy z Klasję. Tak na serio, nie pamiętam jak się używało przedmiotów. Nie no, Kacpro, jak jesteś chory, to wiesz, nie ma sensu. Tylko się do końca załatwisz. No.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
Biały test, dramaturgia, legendarny, na Boga, obudź się.
We are still wide awake and staring into an archipelago of truths. Scandalous facts she shared, omitting nothing, even if it casts her as a demimonde with sexually lax morals.
Tak pod rozwagę, czy ta jaskrawość i dokładność może skrywać coś mniej sensacyjnego, lecz bardziej nielegalnego?
Who is this personhood picking these seditious options? Can't you see the detective grows weary of your malcontent? Stop staring at her eyes and say something pertinent to the case. This is making you look like an amateur. It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
Wrócimy do tego później. Dobra, wyjdźmy z budynku. Test na szyby oblałem. Test na okno. Znaczy okno. Na dramaturgię oblałem. Pięknie zacząłem dzisiaj. Naprawdę pięknie. Mogę spróbować jeszcze pójść z tyłu, za budynkiem. Ja nie pamiętam Kacpro. Szczerze mówiąc, te tagi ustawiałem bardzo dawno temu. Mogę go w sumie usunąć. Możliwe, że był ustawiony do jakiejś innej gry totalnie. Zdarza się. Dobra, ale czy mogę teraz to otworzyć?
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because it's nice and
Jesus, co jest?
well-laid pallets. Easy on the
Wszystko
eyes.
oblewam.
It reveals no secrets at this time.
Ech, no nic, podładujmy 1 punkt zdrowia. Albo nawet nie. Nie mogę nic zinternalizować. Nie mogę za bardzo nic zrobić. W jednej ręce winko, w drugiej papierosek. A kurde, czekaj, daj się to kliknąć. Pytanie, czy to mi testy odświeży.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material.
No nie, dobra, odejdźmy. Ciekawe, czy mogę powtórzyć teraz testy na przykład na matematykę wzrokową.
There are several footprints in the
Nie, bo to jest na psychę, czyli rozumność. Biegnijmy, biegnijmy. Zapaliliśmy papieroska. Rozejrzyjmy się. W kuchni na przykład. Ale chyba kuchnia nic mi nie da. Szczerze, to nie pamiętam, jak się liczyło karty z Pokemonami. Nie pamiętam, jak działały te statystyki.
This window is
Fuck,
pristine on the inside.
nie mogę nawet z
unlike the one
papieroskiem
next
tego
to it.
zrobić.
Light from the desk lamp reflects off
Musiałbym
the
mieć
glass
level up.
in an untouched.
Chyba, że na dramaturgię chociaż mogę.
Wait, stop. That man, bloated beyond all recognition, was 42.
Tak twierdziła.
Below the damage, the weeks of decomposition, all the swollen indignity of mortality. He was 42 years old.
Do czego to zmierza?
How old are you? That's where this is going. 45,000 liters of raw alcohol has left its disfigurements. What lies beneath, you wonder? You could ask either one of them.
Jak pani sądzi, ile ja mam lat?
Huh. How old do I think you are?
She's buying time to formulate the best answer. Look who's finally awake.
I don't know. As old as time itself? Ageless? 50,000 years old? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. How old is an apocalypse cop?
Mam około 45.
You're not.
Sure he is. You know, age is just a number.
Yes, but for him that number is higher than 45.
Wait. This requires scientific measurements.
No dalej, nie obawiam się prawdy.
To the laboratorium.
Maria. Generator daty urodzenia. Twoja twarz wygląda na 58, a ciało czuje się na 60. Tak? To mogę być ja?
Hello, officer.
Nie mogę zrobić żadnego testu. Nie mogę wyważyć drzwi. Potrzebuję level upu. Niepotrzebnie zakładam to. To nic, wracamy do naszego zestawu przetrwania. Było mi siatka na zakupy. Trochę mi się niestety skomplikowały sprawy przez to, że żaden test mi nie wyszedł. Chyba że mogę zapytać jeszcze tego typa na dole, którego imienia już nie pamiętam, o to jak otworzyć drzwi na górze.
Can I help
Guard.
you?
Guard, znowu coś widziałem w Whirling.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Guard, widziałem znak informujący, że nie wolno mi wchodzić do kuchni. Dlaczego?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Ale w kuchni może znajdować się coś związanego ze śledztwem.
He wasn't pan-fried. He was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine. Okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Klasy, spokojny numer 3, to naciechnęła linię telefoniczną.
Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know.
Dlaczego
I
jak
don't want to
ksiądz?
know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building.
He really doesn't like it being classier.
Tak, założył się, że nie chciałeś, żeby to była ona.
What's that supposed to mean? Fuck you, buddy. She's not my taste. Good thing she pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and be done with it.
Wow. She really isn't his taste. Her spell hasn't spread here.
Now, was there anything else? I have like 4,000 coasters to stack. And then I need to wash dishes because it turns out I have to do that too now.
Jest jeszcze coś, o co chciałem spytać.
Yes?
Na razie do widzenia. To nic nie poradzę. To jest najgorsze. Jeżeli chodzi o budynek na zachód, nic. To, co mogę zrobić z Kimem, to kimnąć się. Hehe. Ale się pogody zepsuło. Masakra. To jest ta ciężarówka do przeszukania. Obok pomnika.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This must be the one he told us about, unless he was lying.
Spróbuj zajrzeć przez okno.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers. It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Spróbuj nacisnąć klamkę.
The door is locked. The handle looks shiny, like it's recently replaced.
Jak my to tworzymy, Kim?
Use the pry bar to smash the window. Open it from the inside.
Poważnie?
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
Ciało jako narzędzie, wybij szybą w oknie łomem.
Pry bar in hand, You take a
Jak?
hard swing at the window.
72%.
A loud thunk rings out and the pry bar bounces back, leaving a tiny spider web on the glass.
72%. No,
Goddamn maggot. Drag your ass to the gym and do some reps right now.
serio, uderz jeszcze raz.
Another futile thunk sounds in the brisk coastal air.
This has been hard enough. No need to make it any harder.
To nam poleci po morale.
He smashes it into the window. Droplets of glass fly everywhere, shattering over the lorry floor and pavement. You can just reach in now.
Nieźle.
It went better than I expected. Open it from the inside.
Otwórz.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters.
Znienawidzony przez
Smile
RNG.
from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Podziwiaj plakaty.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Przyjrzyj się rozkładówce.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. A feeling of tenderness washes over you,
Za szybko
a
kliknąłem.
longing even, perhaps, and gentle
Szczerze,
tragedy.
Kacpro, chyba w większości shooterów jest coś w stylu łomu. FPS-ach znaczy bardziej albo łom, albo nóż. Właśnie. Po prostu to jest taki standard, nie? Muszą ci dać jakąkolwiek broń, która nie wymaga amunicji.
Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly.
Dość już tych plakatów. Skoro miałem 2 sukcesy i tak nic nie wiem.
The actresses and the rare actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Przyjrzyj się radiu.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Na co komuś tyle stacji radiowych?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range too.
Możemy zrobić coś z tym radiem?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Co tu jeszcze mamy?
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat.
Przyjrzyj się dźwigniom.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver.
No, klucz. A, czy to klucz?
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Do kręcenia.
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Zdaje się, że kierowca przykleił do gazu kawałek papieru ściernego, żeby poprawić przyczepność.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
Cofnij się do kabiny.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a pull-out toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some
Wyciągnij
tools lie scattered
wysuwaną
near the
skrzynkę
pedals.
narzędziową.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Rozłóż gazetę.
It's an issue of Peripherique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Podnieś notatkę.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the ULAN frequency system. These formulas look oddly painful. Maybe it's the hangover, but they give you a headache.
Bo ten świat jest Kacpro taki trochę bardziej disco. W sensie przerysowany w niektórych aspektach. To zawieszenie na przykład wygląda jak coś bardziej z Death Stranding niż z czasów komuny. Chociaż co ja tam wiem.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Wsuń wysuwaną skrzynkę.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes.
Dobra, zamknijmy
Close
drzwi.
the rusty old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
No oczywiście, Kim. Z tobą zawsze. Co mi ciekawego powiesz?
Alright, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
To chyba właśnie powinna zrobić policja. Co o tym sądzisz, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net. I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Listening in on your calls between you and your station. A worrying prospect.
A plakaty filmowe, jak one się w to wpisują?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Don't be fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Wiele to kobiet, zwłaszcza jak na kabinę użytkowaną przez kobietę.
Yes, well,
Unimportant.
Dobra, jeżeli to jest ciężarówka tej Ruby. Tak, dobrze pamiętam, Ruby. Ona nadzoruje cały handel dragami i zakochała się w Klasie, dlatego zabiła. Jakie widzisz tutaj powiązanie ze związkiem?
we didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation. But somehow, I doubt that Evrard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose. My suggestion is, we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road.
Czy Mor rozpocznie w tej sprawie dochodzenie?
We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
Co ci chodzi po głowie?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Korupcja?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
No dobrze, mówienie zakończone.
Debrief over. After you.
Możemy wrócić do Joyce i z nią pogadać. Zawsze to będzie jakiś progres, chociaż nie wiem szczerze mówiąc, do czego to prowadzi. Można prosić na chwilkę.
I saw you poking around in Lady Driver's lorry. She in trouble?
Chwila, czyli wiedziałeś, kto przemyca tutaj narkotyki?
Nah, man. I was telling you the truth. I really didn't think it'd be her. She's okay. Sort of troubled, but still. A nice person.
What else do you know about her?
Nothing. We just talked a bit. About life and stuff. She left me a key so I can park a lorry if the jam broke. So, she in trouble or what?
Przykro mi, stary, nie mogę ujawnić przed tobą informacji z oficjalnego śledztwa.
It's that bad. Man, what should I do? What should I do to help her?
Nie musisz nic robić bez obaw. Policja się tym zajmie.
Yeah, maybe I should just keep my head down and work on my rhymes while I can.
Jaki masz w ogóle plan co do tych rymów?
Oh, you know. Tommy Leham's gonna be a musician. Sprechgesang, but with beats. I've got a lot of free time on the road to hone my craft.
Czemu Tommy Lehom?
Tommy Lam was taken. My real name's Jerry Lafitte. Tommy's way better.
It's more him.
No dobrze, właściwie to mam inne pytanie.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
17% szansy. To poeta, rzuć mu swój najlepszy wiersz.
Your best
Czego ja się
verse.
spodziewałem?
You don't even have a bad verse in here. Just tumbleweed and liquor stains. Wait, no. What are you doing?
Złamało w pół, kurwa mać.
That's brutal, man. But you know, time will...
Czego ja się spodziewałem, naprawdę.
No, stop. He's already mortified.
Nie mogę przestać. Nie Tommy, to moje rymy. Słuchaj. Jebało mnie, aż zakrwawiłem.
That's,
In the name of God, what are you doing?
Mów dalej, nigdy nie będę już taki sam. Ono zawsze jest obok, jebać śledztwo, jebać wszystko, zagłada po kres.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. These are your rhymes. They're from your life. Doesn't matter if they're robust, they're honest. So, thanks, man.
Zajebisty rym.
Yes, and I also thank you for stopping. We have a drug investigation to
Tak,
return to. How about
zdecydowanie.
you do that?
Zdecydowanie śledztwo. Nie będziemy poetą. Powinienem się wbić też do piwnicy księgarni, ale najpierw pogadam z Joyce. Kariera żelicjanty niestety sprawiła, że nie potrafił rymować. Dzień dobry, pani kapitan.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Porozmawiałem z kierowcami na rondzie.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Mam nowy punkt umiejętności. Chwila, gdzie dokładnie macie swoje oczy?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
She's trying to conceal her excitement, but the slight glimmer in her green eyes tells you otherwise. The lieutenant is about to interject. Cut him off. This decision should be yours.
Tak, ja powinienem zadecydować.
Exactly. But what?
Zaraz jakoś bardzo chce pani to wiedzieć. Czemu?
I've kept my eye on the communers. Even tried to get to know one. It's a mystery I'm already invested in. Which one of them, if any, could organize such a complex
Nasz
operation?
żulicjent to nie wiadomo w ogóle czymkolwiek będzie. Jak na razie wszystko się nie udaje. Jest bardzo, bardzo źle. Dosłownie nie wyszedł żaden rzut dzisiejszego dnia. Na tyle testów, niektóre na 70%. Będzie śledztwo, to wszystko, co mogę powiedzieć.
Okay. I thank you for sharing that much with me. My employer thanks you as well. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. Now it's my turn.
Yep.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
Czy ja słyszałem rzezi?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Słyszałem już o związku linczu ze strajkiem, ale potrzebne mi pani zeznania.
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Chwilowy kryzys lojalności.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Potrzebna jest pani ochrona?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
Nazwiska proszę, nazwiska.
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
Już wiem, że to bullshit.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
I co dalej?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
Póki co?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
It'll be all of them. The decision is already made.
Muszę powiedzieć, że disco to nie jest...
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
They would have to project strength and power.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
Czyli 2 pojebanych byłych żołnierzy kontra 2000 protestujących?
As I said, a bloodbath.
Widzisz, Kim, to właśnie jest ten wielki rozlew krwi, o którym ci mówiłem.
It appears you found it, yes. And I'm not happy for you.
Czy nie opisuje pani dość ponurego scenariusza?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Co może mi pani powiedzieć o Crenell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes, all the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminoles Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Dobrze, ma pani na nich coś jeszcze?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Mogłaby pani powiadomić firmę, powiedzieć, żeby ich odwołali?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take
Czyli
time to reach
przejebane.
what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Mówiła pani, że zabity zaatakował kobietę?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
A kto ją dokładnie przekazał?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal.
Trzymaj się,
It's what they
Kacpro.
believe.
I wracaj do zdrowia. I co ci nastolatkowie powiedzieli?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
This does not come as news to us, but still. To your knowledge, where did this assault take place, if you know?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
Nie wspominaj o tym, kim była ta kobieta.
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Ten pułkownik, którego powieszono, znała go pani?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
You don't know how you know. It's not written on her face, nor in her voice. But she had sympathy for this man.
Lubiła go pani.
Liked is a bit strong. He was the most charismatic among them. He handled all the talking. His departure left a major gap in the group's communication skills.
Nazywał się...
Lely, his service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Proszę opowiedzieć mi najpierw pozostałych.
One is a man, Courty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Courty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? Did he see?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
This matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body, and Classier also mentioned it, I believe. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Dobra, gdzie są teraz pozostali najemnicy?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes, ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
Vigilantes. You're a professional officer of the only legitimate authority in Rivershaw.
Nadal nie wiemy, gdzie oni są.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Dobra, to ma 97% szans, to musi się udać. Nie mogę zobaczyć tylko, jakie mam bonusy. Come on. Do góry podwiń, no. Dobra. Nazbieram trochę bonusów.
One is obviously the
udało się.
scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise. The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Ten naprak w niedopasowanym ubraniu przy bramie do portu przywódcami strajków, to musi być jeden z nich.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
Jeden z nich jest zapewne w budynku górującym nad rondem.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
Mam do pani inne pytanie.
I hope I can answer it better.
Ile mamy czasu?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Dobra, na razie wystarczy.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
A może mi pani opowiedzieć o tych tatuażach?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Zachowaj milczenie, obserwuj twarz kobiety.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface. She has no excess of emotions for this cadaver. Has she seen dead bodies before? It's likely.
Co pani o tym sądzi?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points, the stars. I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Jak gwiazdy na niebie?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Czemu ma służyć ta mapa?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
Rozmawiałem z nim. Na razie jego dusza jest jeszcze uczepiona ciała.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Jakie podróże odbył zabity?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stadskanaal. an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Plecto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first to Semines Islands, then this.
Co to?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Redefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor. And these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Somewhere in an office lit by a
Dobra,
single
czyli
green
skończyliśmy
desk,
questa.
Captain Ptolemaeus Price, 58, bald and bespectacled, is writing in a ledger on his desk. Rows and rows of days and weeks, laconic remarks in a single column. Patrol, case, vacation, injured. In Martinez looking into Krenel, he writes in one. Then the man puts down his pen and rubs his temples with both hands. Outside, there is a siren. Distant gunshots on the streets of the Jamrock Quarter.
Ten człowiek to żaden mi brat, ale to jest jego historia służby.
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
Kto mógłby powiedzieć mi coś więcej?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend, and
It could go this or the other way. Maybe if you're tactful, it could be beneficial. Challenge accepted. I say we do it.
Potrzebuję tych informacji. Zapisz w notatniku zapytać najemników o tatuaże.
do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security, but if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
To tyle, jeśli chodzi o tatuaże. Dziękuję za pomoc.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nawiasem mówiąc, rozmawiałem z Everartem Clarem.
You have. And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally, time to choose sides.
To, czy mi się spodobał, jest nieistotne. Wykonywałem swoją pracę.
Of course, detective. Excuse me for implying otherwise.
The RCM does not pick sides in this. I hope it doesn't come off any other way.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Yes, your disgusting necktie agrees
Naprawdę?
completely. Let's go.
Krawat? Poprosił mnie o otworzenie drzwi.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
Nie, chodziło o takie prawdziwe drzwi do czyjegoś domu.
Oh my. A real door.
The lieutenant does not say anything, but you hear the nylon of his jacket rustle as he looks at you.
Musiałem to zrobić. Dostałem w zamian informacje przydatne dla sprawy.
That's good to hear, detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
Frankly, what was done was not pretty at all, but neither was it illegal. And it was not for nothing.
This seems serious.
I advise you to be very selective with what information you choose to share. This may have consequences beyond our line of sight.
To wszystko, co mam do powiedzenia.
Naturally, detective. There are lighter topics to gossip about.
Pan Everard pomaga mi w znalezieniu mojej broni.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and
Okej,
you can
Kim,
swear
przesadziłem.
he's able to contain the anger and surprise.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
Nie.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful
Nie
as
wiem,
you
co jej
thought then.
mówić. To tłumaczenie było
anything
dziwne
else?
trochę. Wolałbym porozmawiać na razie o czym innym, jeśli nie ma pani nic przeciwko.
Of course, detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
Dziękuję, to na razie wszystko. Dobra, mam 1 punkt do rozdania. Jeżeli dam go w ciało jako narzędzie, powinienem móc powtórzyć test na górze do rozwalenia tych drzwi. A to powinno dać mi progres, jeżeli chodzi o drzwi w kuchni. Ach, jest dużo niewiadomych, naprawdę. Tutaj musiałbym się dostać do tego budynku. Podejrzewam, że mogą się tu dostać z księgarni. Ale to zaraz. Najpierw wróć, nie te drzwi. Najpierw wchodzimy do Werling. Idziemy na górę. Spróbujmy jeszcze raz. Czy mogę już powtórzyć test?
This window is pristine on the inside.
Nie.
Unlike
To jest matematyka wzrokowa. To chodźmy chociaż wyważyć te jebane zamknięte drzwi.
the same small, heavy door.
42%.
No lock inside.
Zróbmy tak, łyknijmy sobie. Łykniem, bo odwykniem. Nie mogę tego kliknąć normalnie. Muszę idealnie wręcz najechać.
The
Moral
same
ucierpiało.
small,
Ja mam
heavy door.
58%.
No lock inside.
Fail. Fuck!
You give it another, more ferocious kick. The door still does not move.
Demolish the place.
I don't see how this is going to give new results. There must be another way in there.
Below, in the Union box, was there something behind the window? In the hawthorn branches, brushing against the glass?
Co?
No one knows. It is a fleeting feeling. It could be that your eyesight is still too poor to notice it, behind that window.
Percepcja się. Czyli mogłem zboostować percepcję. Dobra. Ogólnie to jest wiele rzeczy, które powinienem rozwinąć. Percepcja jest ważna. Powinienem też chyba pogadać z tym przywódcą najemników.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers. The men are talking, but you swear you hear those black limbs tap on the window as the wind blows outside.
Zmruż oczy.
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside. You're not so sure about that. Somehow you just know there's something out there.
Tam coś
behind the
jest.
glass.
Yeah, your mother.
Dobra, 72%.
There's a yellow ribbon tied to one of the branches. Light yellow. faded with time. A tiny splash of color in the blackness of the thicket, hanging from it, a bronze key. It's close enough to the latch up there. One can slide it open and just take it. Surely not a coincidence.
Ktoś ukrył klucz w krzaku.
Huh?
Potrzebuję, żebyście podali mi ten klucz. Titus, czy mógłbyś mi, proszę, podać ten klucz?
I'm not your janitor, cop. I don't even know what you're talking about. There's nothing there.
If he says it's there, it's there.
Pozwolicie mi się przecisnąć, żebym mógł to wziąć.
I don't know about that. I'm comfortable here. Don't think any sliding would really help right now.
Sorry, fucko. Looks like you're gonna have to go bush diving. Good fucking luck with that. The Hawthorne's got a bitch of a bite.
I'm gonna enjoy the sight of you in the bushes out there.
With a loud thud, the old man stands up, pushes the window open, grabs the key from the hawthorn branch and slides it across the table to you.
Weź klucz.
The key is brass. Workshop spear is etched into its bow. The old man closes the window and sits back down in silence.
Come on, man. We were just having some fun. Where's the harm in...
I'm tired of listening to your shit.
Dziękuję.
Don't thank me. I don't give two shits about your key.
There is a silence around this man's words. Unlike Titus, they're afraid of him. That's the type of respect he commands.
Czy ktoś wie, czemu ten klucz wisiał tuż obok okna sali związku?
Didn't even know it was there. Boys.
No idea.
Never even seen it. Someone must have hidden it there before this room became our place.
Ciekawe, jakie drzwi otwieram.
It could open the door in the kitchen. The blue door. It says workshop spare. Maybe there's a workshop there?
Dobra, odejdź. Spróbujmy.
You see a heavy
Spróbuj
steel door
użyć...
with a prominent dimple
Tak,
lock.
spróbujmy
It's
użyć w
painted
zamku
blue.
klucza.
The key fits the dimple lock. It takes a bit of effort to turn
O,
it
proszę.
after all these years, but then the lock clicks. Dust rises before you like mist. A tomb haunted by regal spirits from distant ages.
Co my tu mamy? Hajs na pokój. Najwyraźniej.
Over there, in the corner,
Znaczy, ta maszyna do pinballa?
not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it.
Kim, czy ty widzisz to, co ja?
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats. A classic.
Czekaj, ty w to grałeś?
A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again.
Przyjrzyjmy się uważniej.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath. The machine is coin operated. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready.
Nachyl się, żeby odczytać tekst.
Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gordy, taken on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Muindi. The Mesk legend holds that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gordy shall return and save his people.
Przyjrzyj się polu gry.
The theme of the game is to explore Gordy's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them and represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represent Gordy's climb, places he was said to have camped. which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit.
O co chodzi z tymi wszystkimi kozicami?
Indeed. Think of them as balls.
Wrzuć monetę.
It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, go, finger boy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was.
Zaraz, a jakim był typem człowieka?
The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A masked nationalist.
Rasistowskim wspinaczem?
An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies from every continent.
Bardzo to niefajne.
He also hit his wife and kids. Other people's kids too. Sometimes pets. Hateful little man. But you seem to be having fun.
Jestem w tym całkiem niezły.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board, and although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go.
Skup się i wyceluj w wąskie przejście.
Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. But finally, the opportunity presents itself. One of them gets through. The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid, nihilistic finale.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one, your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. Lucky goats. The fog looks soft and inviting. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him
Nie da
back
rady.
from the jaws of death.
Jesteś kiepski w gry z billami? Dlaczego? Kim to się uda zrobić? Tylko patrz.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
Skup się na billi.
How, if you can't even see it? The last goat plummets into the fog with almost suicidal glee. It killed itself to spite you. There goes nothing, finger boy. All these mesmerizing machines, just waiting to be plugged back in and played.
Przejdź palcem po zakurzonej powierzchni białej deory.
Feels like it might jump back to life any moment. The lights illuminating the white-robed woman.
Co to ta biała deora?
Some kind of inane pinball theme. Probably related to Messina during the DeLorean age. The history themes are the worst.
The lieutenant grimaces, looking at the machines.
Zdaje się, że nie lubisz pinballa, Kim.
No, I love it. I love pinball. Who doesn't love pinball? Let's move on.
A co sądzisz o tej piłce? Chcesz zagrać?
No,
Może odpalimy jeden z tych sprzęciorów i zagramy.
you can't fire them up. They are broken. Only that one machine in the main hall works. The Royalist Pinball.
What a dumb name. Royalist Pinball. If they weren't broken, he would kick one of these machines about now.
Myśl. Kim Kitsuragi, Kim Kitsuragi.
Kim, Pinball, Kitsuragi.
Kim Pinball Kitsuragi, znany jako Kimball.
Exactly. That's what he's known as. His reputation precedes him.
Hej. Nie no, jesteś Kim Pinball Kitsuragi.
So now he remembers.
O matko, to jest jego sekret?
Fine, I'm Kim Pinball Kitsuragi. aka the Kimball. You remembered. Congratulations.
Zaraz, ale wciąż nie pamiętam nic innego.
Wonderful. He only remembers hearing about the pinball policeman.
Nie wydajesz się tak naprawdę lubić pinball.
No human being should. It is a game that requires no skill and a childlike affinity to flashing lights and to fantastique, science fiction, and historic romance franchise. It is lame.
To dlaczego nazywasz się pinball?
I am not cold pinball. It was used to taunt me a long time ago, before I became a homicide detective and got my lieutenancy.
Ale czemu ty...
Fine. I was a juvenile police officer for over 15 years. It's how I started out in the RCM. Once I had to infiltrate a pinball ring, as you do when you're a juvie cop.
W porządku.
It was not okay. I needed to become a pinball champion. I trained for 9 months. The job was successful and I was moved out of the juvenile wing to homicide. End of story.
Przez 15 lat zajmowałeś się nieletnimi?
That time is over now. I was already a 38-year-old man. It was unbecoming, as was playing pinball.
So that's why he doesn't want to talk to Kuno. Trauma and stressor disorder from being a juvie cop.
Zaraz, to dlatego nie chciałeś rozmawiać z Kunem.
It's best if you handle the juvenile delinquents.
Dla mnie jesteś porucznikiem Kitsuragim.
Not only to you, I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi to everyone. Now we really need to continue our sweep of what appears to be a secret path through the whirling.
Ciekawe. Zobaczmy, co tam
This
jest.
small elevator is dimly lit by a bulb that's been glowing for ages. The latticed cage is open, inviting you to step inside.
Zajrzyj do środka.
Smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There is a control panel to your right, and just enough room for 2 people to fit in.
Spójrz na panel windy.
There are large rectangular buttons, monter, descend, and an international call for emergency assistance. That third one appears to be broken.
Ciekawe, dlaczego używano tej windy.
Seems like a small freight elevator for transporting machinery. For that, it's pretty quaint.
To co, jedziemy na górę? Pozaklejane okna. Skrzynki z narzędziami. Schemat maszyny do pinballa.
So this is where they brought 40 pinball machines to fix them up, a long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf.
Zdaje się, że w pewnym momencie zrezygnowali z naprawiania tych maszyn do pinballa.
At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue.
To kiedyś był warsztat pinballowy.
Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over. Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the hardest bang away at it.
Zakończ myśl. Co mamy tutaj? Płaszcz producenta pinballi. Fajne bonusy ma. Czekajcie, czekajcie. Załóżmy go. Nie, no to już profesjonalizm. Mam też lepszą koszulę. Z bonusem do logiki. Jeszcze jak wyjmę flaszkę z ręki. No, no. Zaczyna to jakoś wyglądać.
You
Ślady
clearly
stóp.
see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new.
Przyjrzyj się dokładniej.
Large prints, most likely made by Boots. The size is hard to determine, Soul could be bigger than vamp. The souls have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines.
Wstań.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor.
Ktoś tu był w ciągu ostatniego tygodnia czy 2.
3 weeks maximum, from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer.
This is so good it makes him forget the whole Kimball memory.
It was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider.
No dobrze, co to oznacza?
It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route leading to the roof. The roof from where you can shoot our victim. This is significant. These prints, officer, could be the prints of our killer. And if not, at least they're a good argument for this Ruby doing it, to present to Titus.
Chodźmy już. Czy mogę z tej strony
This
otworzyć?
is the barred door you tried to kick in before.
Blokuj tam. Tak, zdejmij mi latarkę. Udało się. Chociaż tyle. Teraz co? Dajemy w dramaturgię. Nie mogą bardziej zbustować dramaturgii.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Ja sięgnąłem pik moich zdolności dramatycznych. Niestety. Za to zbustuję percepcję. To jest pik mojej percepcji. Wrócimy do tego później.
This window is pristine on the inside.
To miała być matematyka wzrokowa. Ale to nic, spróbujmy zagadać z Titusem. Jak w ogóle wygląda mój... To odpada, bo Kuno nie chce ze mną gadać. To mogę zrobić tylko jak nie będzie Kima. Po 21 mam pójść do tego lokalu. Mogę pogadać z przywódcą Lumi Strajków albo z Titusem teraz. Chodźmy do Titusa. A to jest ta maszyna pinballowa, która według Kima miała działać, tak?
It's you again. What is it?
— 8%. Rozmawiałem z Joyce, kumple tego powieszonego najemnika, chcą was dopaść.
Yeah. By friends, you mean his squad mates from Cronell.
Wouldn't want to beat up his grandma.
Nervous, snickering. There's a rush of adrenaline present.
Tak, formują jakiś trybunał i przyjdą tu po was.
This is what happens if you take the law into your own hands. Other people start doing it too.
Let them come. The Hardy Boys are right fucking here.
You heard the man. Right here. We're armed. We got the whole district behind us. And Glenn. Glenn is fucking crazy.
Yeah, a well-oiled murder machine.
The mood is on the rise. They're feeling confident, ready to punch out the whole Merc platoon.
Joyce twierdzi, że się zbuntowali. Nikt ich nie kontroluje.
Big fucking surprise. They hire psycho scum, arm them to the teeth, and let them loose in the city. What do you think is gonna happen?
He's really prepped himself up for this. He has to keep the fear in check.
Najemnicy mają broń automatyczną.
We got weapons of our own. We got Ister 50s, Zeelagers. Glenn's got a knock cannon at home.
Przebiją pancerz ceramiczny.
I guess we're gonna see, aren't we?
O czym się przekonamy, że nie przebiją?
Yeah, like you've been up against ceramic armor. You haven't even seen the whole suit, right? I've seen the whole fucking thing, and it didn't make him immortal.
Ten cały Krenel to nic dobrego, wiecie o tym, nie?
So are the local gangs, the fucking Barmy Army, and the Madre scum. You've been out there. Seen any around?
Yeah. Where are they now, huh? Sent back to Madre in an airtight cargo crate.
These people are trained military professionals, special forces, as you said. They're not a gang or barmy army.
No, they're not. They're uncoordinated and drunk. Don't forget, we're listening in on their communications. Their shit is way apart.
Okej.
What do you mean, okay?
Oznaczyć, dobra, będziecie mieli po swojej stronie jeszcze jedną spluwę. Jak już ją znajdę, bo zgubiłem.
We don't need you or your lost gun. We all have our guns. We'll just use those if it's okay with you.
Last gun or not, you're going to need help. We are offering it.
Okay, I accept the offer, but I'll believe it when I see it.
He appreciates it, but can only accept it conditionally.
Spróbujmy 8%.
Oh no, he's stuck again. Please, someone, just animate him. I got nothing. Get a move on, asshole. Stop standing with your dick in your hand. Your mouth is open. Close it. It's really, really going to help if you do. Stop drooling. Run around or something. Hit yourself in the face. Anything. No one has any idea what to do with you if you just
Dobra,
stand
muszę jednak zbadać więcej rzeczy. Jeszcze nie, moglibyśmy powtórzyć, jakie elementy ma nasza teoria?
Sure, why not? Let's hear what some of our friends have to say. Hey, did someone say something already? No? Yes? Who cares?
Nie mam jak zboostować
Upstairs
matematykę
in
wzrokową,
Clausia's
musiałbym mieć level up.
The window the bullet came through. Analyze that. There's a spooky building west of this. Take a flashlight with you. Search the basement. There are secrets, magisterial, ancient secrets that may assist you.
Zachód stąd, czyli chodzi o co? O księgarnię, czy ten wysoki budynek?
You could crack that Clausia's defenses. Maybe she'll tell you something helpful. It's that simple.
Unless we have more business, we should...
Pójdę stąd. Dobra, do klasy pójdę dopiero po 21, 22, jak nie będzie kima. Pogadam teraz z przywódcą strajków. To jest jakiś sposób na zaczepienie się w temacie.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Pomyślałem, że może zdołasz pomóc mi w rozszyfrowaniu znaczenia kilku tatuaży.
Don't think so. Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
Oczywiście, że tak, zapomnijmy o tym, porozmawiajmy o czym innym.
Actually, I think we should maybe even get going now.
Zjebałem, mogłem w to pójść. Anulowałem całe zadanie, tak? Ale to był zły pomysł, wkurwiłbym go trochę. Podjudziłbym, jesteś zatrudniony przez Wild Pines najemnikiem.
Hell no. I'm just an honest scab. I won't have talk like that around here.
Jasne,
You
jasne.
understand?
His neck muscles tense up. The veins on his neck bulge.
Powiedz bardzo cicho, czy nie zbiera się przypadkiem trybunał?
Fucking bug. How about you fuck off now, huh?
Okay, of course.
There could be weapons aiming at us right now. Somewhere above, in the buildings. The other merc. Don't push this, he's thinking. This is not the time.
W porządku.
The man's breathing steadies, but his eyes are still narrow. Slowly, he's trying to get his right to work dance back on. It's hard to do that when you want to beat a man into a pulp instead.
Dobra, pójdę sobie. Not good. Muszę się dostać do tego budynku. Ciekawe. Nie powiem. Zbadajmy płotek. To
You
poza
see a
tym...
set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Jaki pojazd mógł tędy przejechać?
Hard to say.
Czemu ja zwracam na to uwagę?
Cop habit. You look at everything. This isn't case related, you think.
Otwórz ruch pojazdu.
No. These tracks are not interesting at all. Let the street sweeper just sweep them away.
Nie teraz.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
No spoko, tylko to matematyka wzrokowa. A nie percepcja. Mogę dać tylko 1 punkt więcej w nią, co mnie trochę nie ustawia. Dzwońmy domofonem, tak poza tym. Do Slipstream SCA. Jeszcze raz.
Whatever she says, it can't hurt you. You're a different person now. Stronger, healthier, and alright. Maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships. Oblivion's the ace in your corner.
Zadzwoń jeszcze raz.
There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. It's cold outside, and you can hear the wind blowing into the speaker. A strange metallic taste fills your mouth as you stare at the intercom. There's the static again, whispering like a seashell pressed against the air.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
Może mnie pani wpuścić? Muszę dostać się do budynku.
My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
Proszę się nie rozłączać, chcę się tylko wytłumaczyć.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice again.
Wait, is she...
Czy pani nie mówiła tego już, kiedy rozmawialiśmy ostatnio?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Czegokolwiek nie powiem, usłyszał znowu to samo, prawda?
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and echoing in the box. Your hands are getting cold and your breathing becomes visible, forming small silvery puffs in the air.
Już koniec, możemy teraz porozmawiać.
Ever since I came to work here, it's been different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
Nic nie mów.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget about you.
And then it hits you.
Jest pani nagraniem.
She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs sound old and distant, as if her voice is being played off a wax cylinder. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this. Anger boils up in your chest.
Czemu wciąż mam wrażenie, jakby to była moja wina?
Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going.
Słuchaj dalej.
A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. The static is like a warm blanket wrapped around the sounds.
Jest tam kto?
No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before. Glorious and total somehow. Crawling inside your head. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve.
Jak to nagranie uwięziony w obwodzie?
I don't have time to explain it to you right now. Maybe sometime later.
Aby przydarzyło... Nie. Fua. Właśnie przydarzyło mi się coś dziwnego.
Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
That is true. This button.
This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Odejdźmy. Jak się tam dostać? To jest pytanie. Przez chwilę wydawało mi się, że jakaś myśl się pojawiła nad moją głową, ale nie mogę jej odnaleźć z powrotem. Spróbujmy wejść na zaplecze księgarni. Hello.
The curtains, tattered with age and
Otwórz
covered in dust,
zasłonki.
hang before you, as if taunting you. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Ale wyczuwam, jak to miejsce mnie wzywa. Muszę sprawdzić, co jest za tą granicą.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
Chodzi o klątwę, tego pani się boi?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Dobrze, zastanawiał się nad tym przez chwilę.
Thank you. Let's just talk about this first, all right? There's no reason for you to venture into the unknown.
What are you, a coward? Think about the marvelous adventures waiting for us on the other side.
Lies. Rip them open, we say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Zignoruj na razie zasłonki, porozmawiajmy z nią. Może mi coś powie.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome
Czemu
to
się tak
Crime,
pani spina o te zasłonki?
and biographies of famous
Chcę
people.
tylko wiedzieć, co jest po drugiej stronie.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
Skoro to tylko magazynek, to nikomu nie zaszkodzi, jeśli tam zajrzał. W końcu nie jest to żadna klątwa, prawda?
No! Okay, fine. It's just because this place is cursed, just like everyone said. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains. Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
Szukała pani u kogoś pomocy?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear, it's not enough.
Czemu od razu pani nie powiedziała, że to klątwa?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Jak się przejawia ta klątwa?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
No dobrze, trochę jestem zdezorientowany. Co to oznacza?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Dziwne, ja też się czuję uniechciany. Co to oznacza?
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
Czy pani naszyjnik też jest częścią tych zabezpieczeń?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
Aha. Czyli myślałem, że nakłoni ludzi do kupowania książek magią.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Chciałby pani, żebym zajął się tą sprawą, mógłbym się jej przyjrzeć, sprawdzić, czy klątwa jest prawdziwa.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Psychic arts? Sounds right down our alley.
Spróbujmy. Przekonaj ją, żeby pozwoliła ci zajrzeć do zgubionej strefy handlowej.
Time to fire up the old lie machine.
Proszę pani, z tym sławnym prywatnym detektywem, wielkim obrońcą prawa i specjalistą we wszystkim, co kryminalne.
And I am his private partner, John Shaw. Together we run the preeminent postal surveillance firm in Revachol.
Ale zaraz, to nie koniec.
Once we've caught our client's spouse in flagrante delicto, we blackmail them and pocket the money ourselves, because that's what private investigators do. Now, I see that you are a married woman.
Some penetrating sarcasm from your colleague there.
What nonsense are you two going on about? This is not relevant at all. And besides, my husband would never do such a thing. We are proper people.
Dobrze, dość tych bzdur. Rzecz w tym, że podejmujemy się czasem nietypowych śledztw.
How can I believe you after all that foolishness?
Our sincere apologies, ma'am. No more nonsense. We are offering to assist you with your troubles. Pro bono.
To dobra propozycja, proszę, szanowna pani. Nalegam, aby przyjęła pani naszą pomoc. To może być jedyna szansa dla pani interesu.
That's right. When not spying on the love affairs of the ultra-rich, we solve unusual mysteries by the low reload.
Jakiż może być lepszy sposób niż poproszenie nas?
Oh my god! Will you stop with that incessant yammering? It's too much. If you wanted the key to the back door, you could have just asked for it.
W porządku, poproszę. Czy moglibyśmy dostać klucz?
Absolutely not.
Aha. Mogliśmy poprosić, tak? Dramaturgię. Mam kilka pytań co do tej klątwy.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
Dobra, nic nie mogę. Dramaturgii nie rozwinął bardziej. Prawda? Niestety. Nigdy się nie dowiem.
The curtains tattered with
Rozdzielnie na boki.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little cage-like trinkets, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you! You're unleashing forces beyond your understanding!
Weźmy latarkę. Siły ponad nasze rozumowanie. I zamknięte
A
drzwi.
heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and what if you just break it down?
Może powinienem je wyważyć, ale najpierw trzeba opracować strategię.
That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground and a proper posture if you want to succeed.
Przeanalizuj swoją postawę.
Steady breathing. Solid core. You've got this. With one shoulder forward, you're ready to smash into the door like a battering ram.
Rozejrzyj się wokół.
The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish, but the path to the door is clear.
A co z drzwiami?
It's made of a solid block of wood, but it has stood there for ages. The hinges are old and coated with a carmine layer of rust. It should be doable.
Dobra, spróbujmy. 72%. Jest, udało się. Aha.
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to the other side. But you've done it.
Trochę ciężko ze zdrowiem.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
Rzuć się na drzwi krzycząc, kurwa, ale boli. Salka treningowa. Mamy kulę do pchnięcia.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with.
Zrobimy sobie krzywdę.
There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Popatrz, kim to pułapka na sztant z nim zacisków.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
Jakim trzeba być dupkiem, żeby zdjąć same zaciski? To powinno być przestępstwo.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
Czy to znajomy, bo jestem ciężarowcem?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
Dobra, próbujemy. Udało się.
Conjuring up an inhuman amount of strength, you raise the barbell up in the air. Your biceps tremble, but you're a savage. This is a children's game.
Nic nie mów, ciesz się uczuciem. Not bad, not bad.
A warm wave of accomplishment washes over your head as you drop the barbell to the floor. For a moment, it feels like you're strong enough to succeed at anything you ever set your mind to. Hey, but you're still in a ghost house. What if someone heard this? What if they know you're here?
Good technique.
Odejdź. To było głupie, fakt. Mam mało HP. Zagadajmy z kimem może. Chwila, jakieś myśli?
What is this place?
Nie mam pojęcia kim, ale boli mnie głowa. Bardzo boli mnie głowa.
We don't have to explore an abandoned gym, you know? Besides, no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Idźmy dalej, to na pewno jest zwykły, porzucony budynek. Nie ma tu nic tajemniczego.
Sounds good.
I jak bardzo przejebane mamy? Zablokowany korytarz. Wypchane zwierzęta. Nie biegnij powoli po kolei. Zbieramy hajs, manekin. Ktoś zdjął ubranie z manekina.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
Myślisz, że powinienem go włączyć?
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Włącz maszynę.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Zajrzyj do budowy.
It's empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Wciśnij otwórz.
Nothing happens.
Wciśnij drukuj.
Nothing happens.
Odejdź. Czyli musimy znaleźć pamięć. Jakieś schematy. Pamięć wysuwata z grafikiem produkcyjnym. Teraz możemy to odpalić. Zobaczmy jeszcze
Your
najpierw
flashlight
tablicę.
slides over an old green chalkboard covered in
The
scribbles,
fuck is this?
sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Przyjrzyj się rysunkom.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Przyjrzyj się tym wielkinom, to ważne.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless
Rasistowskie
men,
elfy.
all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin. Green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little walking creatures.
Jeden z nich to welkiński supremacjonista.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard too.
Po co ktokolwiek miałby spędzać nad tym tyle czasu?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Kim są te istoty, kto je narysował? Mam tyle pytań.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
No dobrze, to wiele mnie nauczyło. Skończmy już o Welkinach.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
Czyżby jakiś wcześniejszy, niedokończony projekt studia? Przyjrzyj się zdjęciom.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat-death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Dobra, zaraz to zbadam dalej. Krótka przerwa. Dobra, lecimy dalej. Przyjrzyj się grafikom.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Everyone is constantly teetering on the edge of the abyss, an abyss of
Czyli cała ta lokacja
production.
to
These
jest
squares
tak
look
naprawdę
orderly, but beneath them is
easter egg,
chaos, worry, pain.
albo inaczej. twórcy gry obrazują swoje trudy. Czytaj dalej, co się ustało.
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
A, porażka i smutek.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Przyjrzyj się notatkom.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, tune out, Wirral untethered, and Heat death of the universe. The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s." Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise.
Dobra, odpalmy komputer. Czy to jest ta sama tablica, tak swoją drogą? Zaraz, najpierw sprawdzę.
This old fireplace is covered in
Nie,
lines drawn
są
in
3
blue
różne
and red
tablice.
marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric.
Na co ja patrzę?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Częstotliwości radiowe czego?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Oczywiście, anatomię klątwy.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program.
Chwila, kto jest mistrzem gry?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
Jeśli to gra, to kto bierze w niej udział?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
Czyli to było marzenie o zrobieniu MMO.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Czemu tak twierdzisz?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
Co jeszcze?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
Producenci najbardziej zaawansowanej gry RPG we wszechświecie. Co tam kim?
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard and fireplace?
To po prostu resztki firmy po bankructwie. Pytanie tylko, co oni tu... Co cholery robili? Dziwne tłumaczenie.
Yes, that
No,
is the
do
question.
cholery powinno być.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
Jak oni zamierzali to zrobić?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked.
Ktoś już robił takie rzeczy?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an intersolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
To była gra fabularna.
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Jak myślisz, co stało się z tą firmą?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
O raju.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
Świat jest zimny i samotny. Ta gra dałaby mu towarzystwo. Dokończmy ją.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
Jeszcze odpalmy komputer.
Tiles on the cube are
Podłączę
still
grafik
smoldering.
produkcyjny.
Casting the framework like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Otwórz.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Oh no. It was already glowing and now it's also making a sound. It's probably some alien CO-like technology. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Co to jest grafik produkcyjny?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Masz na myśli to świecące coś, które włożyłem do środka?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Tak.
Good. Please repeat the password.
You should ask her for a hint.
Hasło, jestem beznadziejny w hasłach. Mogę prosić o podpowiedź?
No.
Czy to moje urodziny?
Still no.
Tu policja, proszę to otworzyć.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for stress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat
Nie znam
the
hasła.
password? Received. I will register this login attempt.
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Czemu nazwałeś mnie fortecą katastrof?
Fortress accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Masz jakiekolwiek inne informacje o tej firmie?
One moment. Fortress accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
I czym są te interaktywne gry telefoniczno-radiowe?
Any other questions?
Czym jesteś, maszyną, a może jesteś żywa?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
To jest pytanie i odpowiedź, jakbym z botem z infolinii gadał.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
No dobrze, ale gdzie jesteś? Skąd wiesz, gdzie jestem ja?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
On an island on the River Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark. Doesn't it get lonely, sitting there all by herself?
Nie czujesz się samotnie przez tą pracę?
Lonely? Why would it get lonely? I get to talk to people all day.
That's why she does this.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do for this accident.
To na razie wszystko.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the
Dajemy
framework
drukuj.
in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Nothing happens.
Dobra, zerknijmy na tablicę jeszcze raz. Może będzie hasło.
Your flashlights, some of the writing has... This old fire, a diagram for summonings, radio freak, unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular, you think so? Looks like a surveillance program.
Dobra,
Whoever decides a list
to
of
było
all of this,
wszystko.
there's no...
My god, the schedule.
Nothing.
Tu nic nie znaleźliśmy. Chodźmy dalej. Co my tu mamy? Magnes, niestety. Przydałby się środki przeciwbólowe bardziej. What the fuck? Pomnik misia. Ściana się zawaliła, nie ma przejścia. Co to jest?
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Patrz, w ścianie jest dziura, poświeć na ukrytą wnękę.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Dobra, jasne.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Karabiny Kim.
Are these any good?
Przyjrzyj się karabinom.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others. Take it. You're a police officer. Police officers carry guns.
Ten wygląda porządnie.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
Gdzie jesteśmy?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Co to może znaczyć? Karabin tutaj?
It means there are firearms, breech loaders, still laying around in Martinez. This could prove useful in our case against Ruby for Titus. Men are easily swayed by the sight of a rifle.
He likes this find.
Odejdź. Mamy karabin. Czy on jest jako... Myślałem, że to narzędzie, ale dobra. Co my tu mamy? Maszynka do lodów. Kolejne maszyny do lodów. Na safet możemy podbić nasze zdrowie. Zrobię to od razu. Skrzynka na bezpieczniki, przejście dalej. Duże lokacje. Siatkowa bokserka z bonusem do dramaturgii. O mój Boże. Załóżmy tą koszulę na razie, która ma bonus do logiki.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker. Nip, rip the red one out. Look how giant and red and inviting it is. Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
Odejdź na razie. Musimy się cofnąć do misia. Obczajcie, o co z nim chodzi. Też tutaj piec.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Kim, co to jest? Jakiś piec?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Zajrzyj do pieca.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
Nie wiem za bardzo kim, ale chyba słyszę, jak na górze ktoś coś mówi.
Wait, really? We should investigate. See if someone's upstairs.
Ubróć sobie dłoni węglem.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. All that's left is to cover your face in war paint.
Posmaruj sobie policzki węglem.
3 dangerous stripes appear onto your cheeks, telling stories of your wild soul.
What are you doing?
Jestem ponownym wcieleniem pradawnego ilmarańskiego wojownika.
Please wipe your face clean, officer.
Nie wycieraj.
These 3 stripes give you strength in this dangerous realm. It will be foolish to remove them.
Badamy mroczne miejsce, potrzebuję ochrony, jak udaje mi malowanie wojenne.
And this protects you.
To tradycyjne malowanie wojenne pozwala mi bezpiecznie kroczyć wśród strzegących tego miejsca duchów.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Kopnij go.
A hollow ring echoes through the furnace.
Wiedziałem. Samodestrukcyjny policjant. Chodźmy do misia.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper carnivore. Be careful.
Co to jest? Wygląda jak wielki lodowy niedźwiedź.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Otwórz drzwi.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Spokojnie, kim to lodówka.
Of course, just a giant
czyli jakbym wcześniej nie odesłał trupa, to tutaj mógłbym go ukryć. To jest akurat coś, co mógłbym sprawdzić dużo wcześniej.
Let's take a look inside.
Zajrzyj do lodówki.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Weź notatkę z drzwi.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Obejrzyj jeden z wielu leżących w środku papierków po lodach.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Co w ogóle robi w opuszczonej piwnicy wielka lodówka w kształcie niedźwiedzia?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Czyli co, próbowali sprzedawać lody z tego hipermięsożercy?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Zamknij drzwi. To co, odłączamy misia?
2 cables are plugged into
Podepnij
the
czerwony
breaker box.
kabel.
An electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now.
I odepnij czarny kabel.
Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Nie wiem, czemu go odpiąłem. Wiele rzeczy robił bez powodu.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing.
Odejdź. Zostawmy to na razie tak. To co? Tylko spotkanie przeznaczenia. 1 punkt HP. Aha, tędy można wyjść po prostu, tak? Dobra, niewiele mi to pomogło, ale... Panowie, dzień dobry, dobry wieczór. Siema, mam dla was kulę.
Officer!
Znalazłem wam nową bulę.
What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for Petonk.
Now. No need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
Innej kuli się raczej nie znajdzie, radziłbym ją wziąć. Albo nie, dobra, bardzo mi przykro, nic lepszego nie znalazłem.
The best, huh? This isn't even a bull. But fine. I guess you did attempt to right your hooliganism. Consider it forgiven.
Czy konwalie coś dla pana znaczył, René?
I prefer the old name, Insulindian Lily. Girls brought them to young cadets when they entered service. Wearing them on your cap was supposed to bring good luck.
Zaraz, czy to royalistyczna tradycja wojskowa?
It used to be. But the communards were fond of them too. Call them revolutionary flowers. Bells of the revolution.
Czy te kwiaty przyniosły panu szczęście?
You know what? No. They brought me misery, false hope, and disappointment. The revolutionaries sullied them.
You stirred up some bad memories there.
But it wasn't the revolutionaries that sullied the ID for you, was it? She gave them to me too, and your jealous little heart just couldn't accept it.
Taka akcja. Obaj startowali do tej samej kobiety.
Enough! I can go over these matters in detail with you, Gaston, but not while we have company. So, officers.
Maybells don't blossom yet, do they?
Maybe on some remote parts of the city they do. But I think you have to wait for at least a month.
Czy może mi pan powiedzieć coś o tej broni?
It's a Bell McGrave, 4.46 caliber, breech loading, Revachol made. Good weapon, accurate and reliable. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her?
Tam w piwnicy.
I'm not surprised. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. These BM-446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find.
Co sprawia, że ten stary żołnierz trzyma się tak dumnie?
Still, all you see is an old
Niestety.
soldier refusing to replace his uniform with a civilian attire.
Anything else I can assist you with, officer?
Dziękuję za poświęcony czas. Mógł zdjąć latarkę. Notatnik porażki i nienawiści. Czy w ogóle czytam akta sprawy? Nie, inaczej. Muszę go kliknąć. Interakcja.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board.
Wróć. Schowaj, schowaj. Ubranie. Co miał bonus do logiki? Dramaturgia. Plus 1 do logiki, miał okulary. To jeszcze raz.
It's the ledger you found in the trash.
72.
A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. Yes, at last. You find a way to piece them together. using the alphanumeric code on the margin. HDB41, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 411201170, the next world mural.
Zaraz, HDB 41, czy to nie miało być w kolejności funkcjonariusz komisariat?
Why yes, your precinct number is 41.
A HDB Harry było?
Every last alphanumeric in the files
Trochę
begins
nie
with
po
it.
kolei jednak gram w tą grę.
And these are your case files. It's Harry Dubois, HDB. Still feels like there's something missing from that.
Mural Nowego Świata.
This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Zaraz, ale czy dowiedziałem się kiedykolwiek, kto był pomysłodawcą?
The case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Czytaj dalej.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options.
Czyli znowu... Należy zachować mural, jest to odpowiedni.
A staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
Nie ma co winić klasy średniej, to po prostu ludzka natura.
Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done?
Sprawy nie do rozwiązania.
AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable. You were so drunk, you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression.
No nie moglibyśmy po prostu nie pozwolić im wychodzić na ulicę?
You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No, Leslie and Burke are on the corner of Main Street and Perdition because that's where the action is. Threatening, fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Obnaża się w miejscu publicznym.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. The officer is also drunk. Way more drunk than Burke there. And let's be fair, you also have party eyes. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. Kill them. They broke it.
No nie.
He came at us, and at us. I
Nie
think he was
zabiliśmy
trying to
ich,
kill
nie?
Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore. Can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? But both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved.
To jest chujowe rozwiązanie.
Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one?
Ach. Wróćmy do tego później.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Nie spodziewałem się tego. Znaczy, wiedziałem, że jesteśmy raczej kiepskim gliną, ale nie aż tak. Więc tak, nie z nią. Siema nieziemski, co tam jak tam?
A colorful display of cigarettes.
Again, I'm obliged.
Nie alkohol, to są leki. Ja chcę leki.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs.
Poproszę.
They all bear the Saint-Baptiste Pharmaceutics
Potrzebuję
logo.
druaminy.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you.
Dziękuję. To tak na wszelki kupiłem. Co tam słychać nieziemskie, jak tam po świętach? Czy ja miałem problem z Discordem? Cały czas mam. Szczerze mówiąc, to odkąd Discord wprowadził ten swój dziwny sklep, jest sporo problemów z Discordem. Zajrzyjmy w notatnik. Balkonowy palacz. Po 21, czyli jeszcze ponad 2 godziny. Mogę spróbować przejrzeć się okno. Matematyka wzrokowa. Awansujmy matematykę wzrokową. Accept changes. A co nieziemski? To znaczy tak, nieziemski. Miałem też bardzo duży problem z Discordem, jeżeli chodzi o rozmowy przez aktualizację softu z SteelSeries, co było też powodem, dlaczego przestałem go po prostu używać. Bo mi wywalało wszystkie ustawienia. 42%.
Unlike the one Nick could gain with this.
Fuck.
You're not some kind of super detective.
To jakieś gówniana szyba.
It is. We are beating our heads against this. Let's go do something more useful.
Odejdź. Zagadajmy jeszcze z klasją.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
Wróćmy do tego później. Jak ten nieziemski? Zamówiłeś słuchawki? Ale na Discordzie?
Can I help you?
Widziałem coś w Warning.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Gard, co gdybym ci powiedział, że dostałem się na zaplecze za te niebieskie stalowe drzwi?
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
He's really holding himself back here. It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting
Nie
to
no,
know
mówię,
what's
ogólnie
behind
Discord robi problem ostatnio. Matko, muszę zdjąć te słuchawki, jak mi wkurwiają. Ale pogoda się zrobiła piękna. Leje niesamowicie. Dobra, nie spytasz mnie, co tam jest?
Okay, what is back there?
Maszyny do pinballa i warsztat do ich naprawiania.
Ha! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too.
Nie wierzę, nieziemski. Tak samo jak mówię, po każdej aktualizacji softu ze SteelSeries wywalał mi dźwięk w systemie i Discordzie. Musiałem wchodzić za każdym razem w ustawienie i ustawiać wszystko. A jeszcze SteelSeries tak debilnie zmieniło to, że soft aktualizował się automatycznie od któregoś update'u ostatnio. Wcześniej przynajmniej pytali, czy zainstalować.
I knew it. Were they any back there? In working order, I mean.
A co, chcesz zagrać, bo je chętnie pyknę?
No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there.
Myślisz, żeby zmienić tę miejscówkę w salon pinballa?
No, but we could diversify the entertainment options, seeing as you've opened the door back there. The machine we have in the corner now is broken.
To znaczy, jaki nieziemski?
It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here. Other than the hellish karaoke machine. That one's always causing trouble.
Jest jeszcze coś, o co chciałem spytać.
Yes?
Co do mojego rachunku za dzisiejszą noc.
Got the 20 real?
Tak, proszę, tu 20 reali.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Jej.
Take it easy on him. Deep down, he really hates being the guy who has
Do
to
widzenia.
remind you.
Ale to co, masz już kupca, czy po prostu wystawiasz dzisiaj? Spróbujmy zagadać z Titusem.
It's you again. What is it?
Nice. Pogratulować. 28%. To jest dużo. To jest naprawdę dużo. Spróbujmy tego.
A sudden
Yes.
flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, Webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
A może nieziemskimi chcesz słuchawki kupić? Co ci tam 100 w tą czy w tą? Nie, mówiłem ci, że 100 robi różnicę. Dosłownie za 100 mniej ludzie, nawet jakbyś na niej nasrał, to i tak by się rzucili. Co jest w sumie... Chociaż nie wiem, w internecie ten sprzęt ma bardzo dobrą renomę, ale w rzeczywistości bardzo rozczarowuje. Skąd ta pewność, że Ruby go nie załatwiła?
So that's what you were squinting at. You were trying to come up with a theory, weren't you? That she did it.
Yeah, he was cobbling together shit so he could put her away. It's RCM 101.
Well, let old Titus set your mind at ease then. She didn't do it. She was here all night.
Sunday night, 11:30 to 12:15. She was here all that time?
Yeah, with us, drinking. Near the stage there.
Nie wyszło zaczerpnąć świeżego powietrza albo zapalić?
No.
Przez całe te 45 minut było z wami, cały czas.
All right. She took a fucking leak,
A
okay?
jednak.
For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has a complex operation to run from her lorry. She's a busy girl. Always has been.
Kierowczyni. Czyli to jednak Ruby jest kierowczynią. A którą wersję nieziemskiej?
Of course, Ruby is the lady driver in this great big jam mystery. Probably. You'll have to keep investigating. They'll never open up about it.
Just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot the merc. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you can still mess this up.
W kuchni jest tajne przejście prowadzące prosto na dach.
How?
Przez coś, co wygląda na porzucony warsztat pinballowy.
People say there was a pinball arcade here.
A, Boże,
Sometime before
X1,
the
tak?
hostel. What
Coś
was it
takiego
called?
GX1? Nie no, mówi nieziemski. Nie trzeba dużo, żeby poprawić swoją sytuację, jeżeli chodzi o audio.
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Weird? How? You're wearing the pinball maker's coat.
W jakim sensie dziwaczne, Teo?
Was run by a fella called Nerflock something, who wore a yellow dust coat like the one you have on right now. Weird guy. Never liked him.
It is a very comfortable coat for such an oldie.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
The elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
Dobry Kim.
Thank you.
Drzwi stamtąd prowadzą prosto na dach, nie da się wyjść na zewnątrz.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Just now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
Znalazłem też na górze w starym warsztacie ślady stóp.
Footprints. Recent.
Świeże, sprzed tygodnia albo 2.
That close, huh? How fortunate. I'll take a thorough look at those prints myself before I believe that call. Good news is, I'm still listening.
Niespodzianka, pamiętacie ten klucz, który tu znalazłem?
I don't like guessing, Cole. No one does.
It opens the steel door in the kitchen, the one that leads upstairs to the roof. This key was right here, with you, all the time.
Wy go nie znaleźliście, ale Ruby owszem, tak właśnie się tam dostała.
Quit jumping to conclusions, Theo. You took that key. Did it look like it was recently put there?
Powiem ci tak, Nieziemski, myślę, że będziesz zadowolony. To dobre słuchawki, solidne.
Now, the ribbon was old, faded. It'd been there for 20 years at least.
Mogło go tam po prostu odłożyć po tym, jak zrobiło co chciała.
Why? This doesn't make sense. It's damn interesting, but it doesn't fit well, and you know it.
Nie widziałem o tej wstążce.
It doesn't fit well, but it fits, and he knows it.
Zgadzasz się, że strzał padł z dachu, tak?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Colossia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez. Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
Ziemski, nie masz co się przejmować. Poza tym, z tego co czytałem, to brzmi trochę inaczej. Czy ustaliliśmy już jasno, że Ruby mogła mieć dostęp na dach w czasie, kiedy zastrzelono ofiarę?
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we've established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun.
Pokaż mi staroświecki karabin. W Martinez można tak znaleźć broń, taką jak ta.
That looks antique. A Bell McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
Pod księgarnią z piwnicy był tam schowany wraz z innymi, identycznymi.
20, maybe 30 rifles, status. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
Okay, I see your point. There are guns lying around. Damn it. I thought we'd found all the old spots. Why was that still there?
We just missed one. Ruby doesn't know this place, boss. Just these cops digging up shit.
Miejscowy Lombard sprzedał moją zaginioną broń kobiecie, może właśnie jej.
You lost your gun?
What an idiot!
Tell me, did you lose it before the murder? You didn't, and Ruby didn't use your lost gun to kill him.
Stop thinking about your lost gun,
To był debilny pomysł.
You'll get a heart attack.
This was merely a thought exercise. He did not lose his gun. Let's move on.
Panowie, to jest Trevor, każdy może tu zdobyć broń, każdy. Nie, dobra. Nie powiedziałem, że udowodnił, że miał broń, która posłużyła w zabójstwie, tylko że musimy ją znaleźć.
I don't know, cop. Why don't you find
Zjebałem.
your lost gun first?
Easy now, Al. This isn't comedy hour.
Titus, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Pytanie nie brzmi, czemu go zabiła, tylko czemu próbowała to zamieść pod dywan.
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
Mogła po prostu tuszować swoją własną winę, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Really, Shanks? Claudia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Eugene, załóżmy, że ty go zabiłeś.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Wolałbyś stanąć przed sądem wraz z przyjaciółmi za zbiorowy lincz, czy sam za morderstwo?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardy Code, boss.
Which is why she didn't. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Titus, na pewno też to dostrzegasz. To się kupy nie trzyma. Musimy z nią porozmawiać.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. A very small nod. And a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Wanna know why?
Dlaczego?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior, why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Kiedy zniknęła?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
Czego się bała?
I told you. You.
Mnie osobiście?
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
I z dziurą w sercu.
Why not? You suck on that gun like someone tore you a brand new asshole.
Nie rozumiem, czemu miałoby się bać. Jestem zwykłym gliną, mającym w głowie zwykłe myśli.
Sure. Normal. You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
Co jeszcze powiedział ci o mnie Ruby?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Nie odpuszczał?
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
Silence. He nods.
To prawda, kim jestem otwieraczem do puszek?
You are insistent.
Coś jeszcze? Cokolwiek?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This cop, Titus, this cop, he...
Scared. You should be too. A strange fear creeps over you. a metallic taste in your mouth. Change the subject.
Macie jakikolwiek trop, gdzie się udała Ruby?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al, and we won't either.
She's not really a hardy candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Szukaliście jej?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlog. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Możesz mi powiedzieć, gdzie na wybrzeżu powinienem rozpocząć poszukiwania?
Sure, there's some shithouses there, a cinderblock town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize, so that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Przemyśl ziemski też będę zaraz kończył, tylko skończę ten dialog. I smacznego. Co dzisiaj dobrego na obiad?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a lorry man.
To niewiele, ale wystarczy. Ruszaj.
It'll have to.
Potrząśnij ją.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
Powinieneś być gliną, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Ale się porobiło. Tyle nowego. Rozpytaj Ruby we wsi. Gdzie reszta... Do klasy mogę pójść dopiero wieczorem bez kima. No.
You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That Ruby of yours?
Tak, i?
Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Clasia. It was nice and Ruby-centric in the end.
Co masz na myśli?
Anything struck you a bit off about this mishmash?
Jak dotąd nikt nie wspomniał nic o tym, że słyszał strzał.
Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you.
Czas zakończyć te rozmyślania.
That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now. You know that. Free as a bird on that roof. Lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me? Don't listen to this guy. The theory was solid. He's just jealous. Move on. It's no use harassing her further.
Szczerze to podejrzewam Klasię. Tylko nie wiem dlaczego i jak. Logika niestety mnie okłamuje. Nigdy nie była moją mocną stroną. Orety. Do 21. Muszę znaleźć sobie zajęcie. Ale to i tak na kolejny dzień raczej. Co my tutaj mamy?
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque.
Przesuń dźwignię w górę.
You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Mam przejście.
All right, we can go to the coast now. Expect rugged terrain and drunks.
A, trudny teren, pijacy. Jak miło. Przejazd nadal zablokowany. Jep. Możemy tylko na piechotę. Z łomem w ręku. I notatnikiem. Okulary motogliniarz z Jamrock. +1 do logiki. Te mają -1 do logiki, ale +1 do empatii. A, drobne tu jeszcze były. Weźmy to. Tak, weź wszystko. I moi drodzy, zapiszmy grę. Dowiadujemy się coraz więcej, coraz bardziej nie ufam klasie. Coraz bardziej podejrzewam, że to ona jest winna. Także jutro będziemy kontynuować. A na dzisiaj to tyle. Trzymajcie się i do zobaczenia.